July is upon us in Animal Crossing New Horizons, and that means you're either in the hot months of summer or in the frosty months of winter, depending on which hemisphere you're in. Regardless of that though, there's a bunch of things going on around your island this month. From limited time items for you to collect, multiple events for you to enjoy, and of course a bunch of different seasonal changes, July is actually a pretty great month. So in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at some updates and changes that'll be happening for your island in Animal Crossing New Horizons this month. Let's see what we can discover. Starting us off, on July the 8th, there will be a new fishing tournament happening. Now, if you've been playing Animal Crossing for a while, you probably know all about the fishing tournament, but in case you don't, this is a fun little event where you'll basically be tasked with catching a certain amount of fish within a time limit to get prizes from CJ who will appear in your plaza. I honestly really like this event. You have all your villagers dressed up for the occasion in little fishing hats and such, and you'll see them with their fishing rods trying to catch a bunch of different fish. And the prizes for the event are really cool too. They're of course all fishing tournament themed, and they're some of the better items in the game. Not to mention the fact that this event is honestly a really great opportunity for earning bells. If you need more of those, then this can be a surprising way to get a lot of them. I won't lie to you, CJ is not my favorite character in Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm sorry CJ fans, but I still really enjoy this event and I try and play it as often as I can. It's even more fun if you go online with friends if you're able to do that and play with them, because then they can take part in the activities too. It's honestly a lot more fun than just playing by yourself or with your villagers, but that's definitely an option too if you can't go online. So definitely make sure to take part in this if you want to. It's a really fun event. Next, exclusively for players in the Northern Hemisphere, we will actually have another summer bug-off, and this will be taking place on the 3rd Saturday of the month. Like the fishing tournament, this is just a fun little event that you probably know all about by now, and it pretty much works exactly like the fishing tournament does. You'll be tasked with catching bugs within a certain time limit, and depending on how many you can get some really cool prizes for doing so. Honestly, the prizes from the Bug-Off are a lot better in my opinion. I really like these, so there's definitely some that you won't want to miss out on. And again, it can be a really great opportunity to get some bells as well if that is something you need. Like I mentioned, unlike the fishing tournament, this isn't for both hemispheres, this is just for the Northern Hemisphere. So unfortunately, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you won't get to enjoy this event yet, but there will be more coming up, so don't worry. Either way, it's definitely cool to have two of these events in the same month, especially as July is kind of light in terms of major holidays in Animal Crossing New Horizons. We're gonna have to wait until next month until we get another one of those, but for now we can definitely enjoy the fishing tournaments and bug-offs. Moving on, like with every month, we get some new limited time items from the Nook shopping tab. And whilst there aren't a ton to collect this month, there are some really cool ones that you should definitely get your hands on as soon as possible before they disappear. So let's take a look at all of these. First of all, we have an item for Tanabata from July the 1st until the 7th, that is the period when you'll be able to get it. And this bamboo item is honestly so cool. It's a really nice interactive item where if you click on it, you can see different wishes that people have made, which is a really great item. It has some cool dialogue that you won't see anywhere else in the game, so this is definitely an item that I recommend getting. It's a sort of item that can look great indoors or outdoors. I have quite a few of them displayed around my island, so definitely a recommended one. Next, we have an item for the Cowboy Festival from July the 15th until August the 15th, so you have quite a long time to get it. And it's this little rodeo spring on. I really like this item. I have it kind of as a stand-in for horses in a little sort of farm area on my island, since my island is kind of farm core, so it's definitely one of my favorites, and it goes well with some of the other springy ride-on items that you can get from the Nook shopping menu over in the resident services. Except this one you don't have to spend Nook miles on, so you could honestly get a ton of them if you wanted to. Definitely a cool item. Next, we have the item for Marine Day, and this does say varied. This infographic is from Nookopedia, so I believe Marine Day can happen at different points throughout each year, but this time it appears like it's happening on July the 17th, so you should be able to get the item from that point. This is an item that can actually go on your door. We don't have too many of these from Nook Shopping that specifically go on your door, so I think this is a cool one to get your hands on. Finally, we have an item for Le 14 Juliet, and it's available from July the 10th until the 20th, and I believe this might actually come in different colors. This is one of those rare Nook shopping items that is actually a clothing item. Once again, like the door decoration, we honestly don't get too many of those, so this is one worth getting in my opinion. Also, a lot of people have been using this as a Smurf hat, so that's definitely something you could do if you want to for the upcoming Halloween event in October. So yeah, definitely some good items to collect this time around. There's not too many of them honestly, but I do think the ones that you can get are really cool. So make sure you get them before they disappear, as of course they're only limited availability. Next, we have some bush changes that you should know about. These are mostly just for the Northern Hemisphere, as I don't really think there are many bush changes going on in the Southern. But for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, the hydrangea bush will actually stop blooming from the 20th, so make sure you enjoy this bush's pretty blooms whilst you still can, as it won't be too long until it stops blooming for the rest of the year. However, of course, with every summer, the hibiscus bush will start blooming from the 21st. This bush is so summery, it really just epitomizes summer for me in Animal Crossing New Horizons, so this is really a great one to have around your island if you want a summery themed look. Of course, there will be some slight seasonal changes that you can expect to see as well if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. The grass is going to get an even darker green throughout the month as we're reaching the peak months of summer, with it becoming this really dark green next month in August. I don't believe much changes in terms of scenery for those in the Southern Hemisphere. Things are just going to be very snowy for a while, but there should be lots of subtle changes for those of us in the north. Now let's take a look at some July weather patterns. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, then you can expect to see some of the special weather patterns like heavy rain, something that a lot of us associate with summer, and of course really cool thunderstorms too. It wouldn't be summer without some of those. You also have a chance at seeing the rarer double rainbows, which are always a really great sight in the game. Now, if you happen to be in the Southern Hemisphere, you can enjoy the Aurora Borealis, which is so pretty. This is one of my favorite weather phenomenons in the whole game, and whilst they don't appear too often, when they do, it feels really special. So these are definitely some weather patterns that you won't want to miss out on. On screen, I'm showing you all of the villager birthdays for July. If you have any of these villagers on your island, then you'll be able to celebrate their birthday with them. I definitely thought this would be good information to know, since of course it is limited time, you only get the one day. And it can be a really great little sort of mini event in the game, if you will. And speaking of villager birthdays, those with Nintendo Switch Online can head over to the Missions and Rewards section to collect villagers to use as their profile picture who will be celebrating their birthday in July. So if any of those villagers that you really like and you want to collect them as your profile picture, you can do that through the Nintendo Switch Online section of your Switch. It's all connected. Now, why don't we take a look at the new bugs, fish, and sea creatures that will be arriving in July, as well as the ones that are leaving too. Starting us off, we have the bugs which are arriving in July. For the Northern Hemisphere, we have the grasshopper, the brown cicada, robust cicada, giant cicada, evening cicada, cicada shell, blue weevil beetle, earth-boring dung beetle, scarab beetle, saw stag, Miami stag, giant stag, cyclomantis stag, golden stag, giraffe stag, horned dynastid, horned atlas, horned elephant, horned Hercules, walking stick, and walking leaf. Oh my gosh, that is a lot of bugs, so definitely go out and catch these whilst you can throughout summer, although you will have a little while to get most of these. However, leaving in the Northern Hemisphere, we do have the honeybee, so goodbye to that sweet little creature. However, no bugs are arriving or leaving for those in the Southern Hemisphere. Next, we have the new fish in the Northern Hemisphere. We have the sweet fish, the Napoleon fish, puffer fish, blue marlin, and the ocean sunfish. Then for the new fish in the Southern Hemisphere, we have the sweet fish, Napoleon fish, puffer fish, and ocean sunfish. Fish leaving in the Northern Hemisphere is the tadpole, and then there are no fish leaving in the Southern Hemisphere. Finally, onto sea creatures. The new sea creatures which are arriving in the Northern Hemisphere are the giant isopod, horseshoe crab, and the moon jellyfish. The sea creatures arriving in the Southern Hemisphere are the acorn barnacle, mantis shrimp, octopus, pearl oyster, scallop, sea anemone, sea slug, sea star, and the whelk. The sea creatures leaving in the Northern Hemisphere are the seaweed, and then the sea creatures leaving in the Southern Hemisphere are the abalone. Well, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at everything that is happening around your island in the month of July. What are you most excited for? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you made it to the end, be sure to comment Bob's Gang down below so I know you did. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on channel notifications for more.